Hello and welcome back to a Madman Big Finish review, a video series where I review one of the latest Big Finish releases. I'm here with Professor Pixel.
Your mother.
I'm not looking. There we go. No, I'm looking at him now.
You're looking at me the right way. Yeah. No.
I have to look up. I'm from down under. Remember, so we're upside down, so I have to look up.
No, we cut that out as soon as Jimmy left us.
No, we are back to review the latest in the First Doctor Adventures range, the Noonan First Doctor Adventures range, Fugitive of the Daleks. We're very excited for this. Oh, I'm excited because we're getting more Noonan and Lauren Cornelius as the First Doctor and Dodo. Pixel is also excited because of that and because of Daleks. If Dalek Mania was a person, it would be Professor Pixel.
It would be, yes.
He would be like, hey, Terry Nation, you wanted to sell the rights to Daleks here for a Dalek show? Like, give it to me.
I can see a vision.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. No, you don't want to see that vision. But
no.
Let's talk about a good vision, which is Fugitive of the Daleks.
Yeah, so Fugitive of the Daleks, which is branching away from what the format of the first two box sets, which is funny enough, when I did my top 10 of Big Finish, I put the Demon Song in here, and I said, hopefully the next box set continues this format where they do like a classic-esque like Who story, and then like a modern story with a classic, like if someone tried to do classic Who in the modern era, not realizing that I think maybe a couple of days after I recorded it, they released the full cast list and description, and it was like, oh, this is just a one story.
Yeah.
So this is a one box set story. It is a little over 3 hour long story. So that there, I start to worry because I've gone on record saying this. Once you reach 2 or more hours, you have to justify that length, and very few of them do that. There are some stellar ones that do, and are like, yep, I would not cut anything out from that. But once you get to 2-3 hours, it's like, okay, you need to really keep me engaged with this story and to justify its length with what is going on in this story. So, continuing on from the Inchinton incident, where we saw the First Doctor mysteriously disappear, it seems like he has reunited with past companion Vicky, who has been living her days out in Troy, I believe, after the events of the Mythmakers and them being on the run from the Daleks. I feel like we're forgetting something, but we'll get to it. As usual, with these ones, we're going to go into spoilers because we want to talk about it in depth, so we're going to spoil some stuff, obviously. So if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. We'll see you in 3 hours.
Yeah. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
So what did you think of Fugitive of the Daleks?
I loved it.
Shocking. In other news, water is wet.
When we started reviewing the First Doctor's, the new era for the First Doctor with Big Finish, we had really great stories, and we still do, but I was waiting for something like this. I was waiting for a Dalek episode. I wanted Noonan to face the Daleks. I don't know if it's fair to say he faced them.
Technically, yes.
He was in the he was definitely in the room.
He was in the room. He was with Daleks.
But
very close.
But not in the way that you expect. The Doctor, but not in the way you were expecting. Did you realize this was going to be a sequel to like 3 classic stories?
No. I think as soon in like the first half of this story, as soon as like the Doctor points out, I can't remember anything since we met the Mechanoids, the fact that it's the Doctor in the TARDIS, not Dodo in the TARDIS. And I started to realize, oh,
Something's wrong.
this is the fake Doctor from the chase.
It is.
So that's the twist in this box set. The first Doctor in the majority of this story is the robot first Doctor that the Daleks created in the chase.
When I was originally coming up with how I wanted to go ahead and start this video, I was going to start out like, Noonan doesn't even really feel like he's playing the Doctor for the first half of this one. He doesn't feel like he's playing a fake Doctor. Ridiculous. Wait a minute. But no, he does such a great job.
Yes, he's great as Robot Doctor and First Doctor, as usual. But yeah, as soon as I picked up, I was like, oh, it's not only is this a sequel to the Mythmakers, it's a sequel to The Chase as well. It's also a sequel. It's also a prequel to another story, which we'll get to towards the end. But yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, so this is the fake Doctor. That actually makes sense now because this is supposed to continue from the incident, and it's like, wait, the Doctor disappeared. Dodo should be in the TARDIS, but Dodo's not in the TARDIS. The Doctor is, but there's something else in the TARDIS. And it's like, oh, I know that it's Dodo. It's Dodo in the TARDIS. That has to make
Yeah, you can tell from the
all those things coming together. I'm like, okay, I figured it out. Before they revealed it, it's like, I figured it out. And then as soon as they did the whole, the Doctor was injured, and he's kind of like robotically repeating stuff and talking. I'm like, yeah, it's him. It's the Robot Doctor from the chase. But it's done really well because for the first half, you're wondering, how's this like because we see on the cover, it's the Doctor, it's Dodo, it's an older Vicky. Like, how's this following from the previous box set when everything here just feels like this is just like a random adventure? Like, he just randomly just meets Vicky again and just something happened to him, so she has to help him. But then all the pieces come together and like, okay, now it's starting to make sense.
There is a slight, I feel like a slight bit of coincidence that happens. Like, oh, this works out just because, and that's fine. Just a little bit. I can't actually pinpoint the moment that had me thinking that, but it does feel that way just a little bit towards the end. However, when the other twist comes up, because you get the Daleks chasing them all throughout it, but they aren't exterminating anyone.
Yeah, so very much like The Chase, which is this essentially a sequel to. The Daleks are chasing the Doctor and the TARDIS throughout time. But yeah, they're not exterminating anyone. They're not killing anyone. So you're like, oh yeah, these Daleks are weird. Okay, they're still traditional Daleks, but they're not exterminating anyone.
Why are you trying to get in on a Little Bighorn there, huh?
Yeah, but then they don't.
Love that bit. That was great.
Yeah, I like the little, like, it felt very classic Who.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are very obviously like episodes in the serial, just leading up to like what is the actual plot. So very like, here we are like on a space station that's orbiting something that's going to become a black hole with this crew that have lived for so long, to like, here we are like on like the eve of the Battle of Bighorn. I will say the only thing I kind of didn't like was the random, like, with the guys disassembling police boxes. That felt so odd.
But it felt very in line with some of those classic, this is supposed to be funny moments.
I wonder if it's supposed to be...
That's exactly what it is, like slapstick. Oh, why is there a police box here? Who's supposed to be taking it out?
I feel like it's because I feel, for me, I still feel like it's kind of out of place, but I do feel like because this is a sequel to The Chase, they are homaging the scene where I can't remember the character's name, but the actor that plays that played Steven, because that's the serial that he's introduced in, played a different character as well. He's like this American that the Doctor and the team encounter while they're trying to escape from the Daleks throughout time. And he's like, "Oh my golly, like what is this?" And then he meets the Daleks. It's like, "Oh, no one's going to believe me about this!" Like, yoo-hoo! Like, I wonder if like that's what it was supposed to be like. It's homaging that kind of like comedy. Like now that I think about it, I think that's the point, because it's a sequel to The Chase, so it wants something similar to it. But yes, eventually, yep, we get the reveal that the first Doctor is actually the robot Doctor from The Chase. The monster that he trapped in the TARDIS is, of course, Dodo. It works really well with Vicky.
Yeah,
I liked, although again, they're still doing the whole like the Doctor and Dodo are being split apart. It's like, come on, we need more with them. But
it was very much a like 50, like half of an episode was dedicated to just Vicky and Dodo talking, but I didn't mind it. It was like, yeah, this is good. It's good.
It's really good. I really enjoyed their chemistry, their back and forth with each other. You know, you could have gone with the route of like different companions meeting each other. It's always either like, you know, we have our Rose and Sarah Jane being jealous of each other, or you have like Martha and Donna just instantly clicking, being friends with each other. Same with like Sarah Jane and Joe. But although I feel like they're kind of hearkening to that because Sarah Jane and Joe are from the same era, so it would kind of make more sense for them to click better. So, you know, Vicky and Dodo are from the same era, so they clicked together much better than certain companions meeting. So we get all that. Dodo is freed, caught up, explaining what's happened on her side of her situation, and then they get captured by the Daleks. We get our reveal. Vicky is confronted by the Supreme Dalek. We get our reveal about why these Daleks are acting weird, and that is because the Supreme Dalek is
the first Doctor.
Yes, the actual first Doctor. So, I'm guessing it is explained that the Doctor is skipping time tracks, hence why he disappeared.
What he goes ahead and explains, because when this happened, right before Once and Future,
which we thought would have been connected to Injured, but it wasn't. How foolish we were.
How foolish we were. He goes ahead and speculates that he's been taken out of his time stream by his people.
Yeah, and I thought, is that supposed to be 3 Doctors?
That could work. You know
that's what I thought they were going for.
I would, yeah.
But then again, I think they show him. Well, they show him in the time eddy that he's stuck. He can't physically go there to help them, but he can give them messages. But I feel like that might have been the case. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like the whole time tracking thing is the weakest part of this story.
It is,
because it's very hand wavy just to connect the story, to keep the flow of the story, and to make everything make sense. Why the first Doctor is here, why at the end Dodo has to forget, which I do think is a bit of a cop out.
Not only Dodo, the first Doctor is going to forget too.
Yeah, it's such a very cop out like resolution. Is like, oh, we're just going to forget, which the thing is they have to, because they have to keep it in like with the continuity. Because the thing is, if someone can correct me on this, if I remember correctly, Dodo is one of the few companions who has not met a Dalek. Not even in other extended material. I think she's one of the very few companions that has not met a Dalek.
Maybe.
So I feel like they have to keep that continuity, because
But
because she's now met Daleks. So
you know what? It's all okay because the Doctor Duplicate gets to live his life as a vicar or something. What was it?
the abbot of
Abbot.
of I'm gonna butcher the name, but Amboise, Amboise,
And wow.
who is from
Right.
the massacre.
The abbot of Amboise.
Because in the massacre, there is an abbot who is also played by William Hartnell, to which even Stephen thinks that it's the Doctor in disguise. But no, it's just someone that happens to look like the First Doctor. So with this story, they decided that it actually is the robot First Doctor who's had his memories erased.
And I love any callback towards the Doctor being responsible for burning down Rome. That's
Oh yeah,
great. Just accident, and that ending felt very much that same. Oh, yes, this is it.
I'm the abbot. Yes, I'm your abbot. Yes,
And
which is
then,
fun because they didn't have to do that. Like we don't like there has been no reason why Ramon Salamander looks like the Second Doctor. He just happens to look like the Second Doctor. And for quite a while, that has been the case with the Abbot from the Massacre. He just happens to look like the First Doctor. But with this, they're like, no, we're going to give you an explanation. And I'm like, yeah, I like it. I can go with it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah, so like I said, this is primarily a sequel to The Chase, also The Mythmakers. In certain parts, Dalek Master Plan, because there's mentions of the what was it called? The Dalek time
Destructor.
Yeah, Time Destructor and their time ship. And then also this being a prequel to The Massacre. So it's just such a weird fun story.
It's yeah.
It has a lot going on, but it works.
I was not bored.
No, I was very entertained and engaged.
Very entertained. It leaves you wondering, okay, what's happening here?
Maybe just one or two bits that, I don't know, kind of didn't work or it was very hand wavy, but regardless of that, it justified its runtime. I was fine. I don't think there was really anything I could rip out of this to make it like quote unquote better. It works fine as it is. It works great as it is.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just a wee bit frustrated by the because that cliffhanger is not addressed. It's not really addressed. Like we knew that.
Feel like it's going into the next box set.
I hope. You know what? I could have accepted if he had come back at the end of this box set, and the next story was actually a prequel to this one, where it goes through his little time slipping adventure. But pardon me, but that's fine because this whole story is great. It's absolutely great. I'm excited for the next one. Each one of these have been excellent. I just hope we actually return back to the normal format.
Yes, I do.
And actually,
well, this is a very. I feel like this is a melding of the two. Almost. It's keeping the classic Who format of like, this is very obviously split into episodes that are part of a bigger serial, but it does feel like slightly modernized.
Yes. I can feel that. And I mean, the only thing is we're not sure where we're going from here. We just know what we have to address, really. But that's the weakest part. But overall, it's a great story. And 9 out of 10. Easy. Easy peasy.
9 out of 10. Yeah, I'd also give this a 9 out of 10. It was fantastic. It's great. I feel like it is of what Big Finish has been doing recently, because this is a trend they've done, is having a Doctor reunite with an older version of a companion they traveled with. They did it in the Third Doctor Adventures with the Doctor reuniting with an older Joe. They're doing it with the Second Doctor Adventures, where Second Doctor reunited with the older Jamie. I feel like of those three, this one does it the best, because I do like Vicky's little story that's going on, where she's had her life, but she's now essentially at the end of her life, and she kind of wants to reclaim, have another go at like the quote unquote glory days, where she was traveling with the TARDIS, and at the end she doesn't want to leave. Like I was kind of expecting them to do the whole the robot Doctor returns to having just the Doctor's personality, and he goes and travels with her on like the Dalek time ship. I was very much expecting them to do that.
Really? I was expecting something along the lines of the robot, the duplicate, basically going and settling on Troy, back in Troy with Moraine. Just, as for her to watch over, as he's a new sentient being.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm happy they didn't. It's essentially another goodbye. Even the doctor tells her, it's like,
a proper
this isn't
goodbye.
Final. Yeah, but no. 9 out of 10. Everyone did a fantastic job. Maureen O'Brien, great as Vicky. Lauren Cornelius, great as Dodo. I just wish we just need more Doctor and Dodo stuff, because what we get in the previous box sets, they do get separated a lot, and a lot of the times their halves of their stories are really good. I do just want to see more of them together, or hear more of them together, because once we do hear them, when there's parts where they are together, they work really well. Stephen and Lauren do a really good job bouncing off one another.
Give us our Doctor and Dodo Wild Blue Yonder now.
Yes. The entire cast and crew, fantastic job. American accents weren't particularly the best, but
the one guy sounded like he was a knockoff Nicolas Cage. It was great.
Yeah. Sometimes the American accents weren't particularly the best, but I'm not really one to talk
Australian.
I was going to say my American accent, but yeah, sure, Australian. We butchered the English language out of spite. You think you Americans did everything out of spite to the British? Look at us. Look at us. We took the English language and we butchered it.
Do y'all still drink tea?
No, I don't drink tea. Ew, yuck. Disgusting.
Damn right. At least we agree on one thing. At the end of the day, that's what matters.
And then Oso. We got to talk about the cover.
It's so good, isn't it?
I love Christopher Naylor, who is the voice of Harry Sullivan for the anything to do with the Fourth Doctor. That Harry's there. He did the cover for the previous one for the Demon Song, fantastic, and then he did the cover for this one for Fugitive of the Daleks. Keep him on here. Keep him on here doing these covers. Amazing. Absolutely amazing artwork.
Honestly, it's just like with the placement of like the Dalek. Obviously, it's partially a Dalek story, so they need to be there. Just going ahead and having him in the back. The focus is really upon Vicky and Dodo, and less so the Doctor, which is a weird thing to say. We love Stephen Noonan as the Doctor, but it's less of a Doctor story in that way. Because
kind of, yeah. Even though he's in it the entire time. First Doctor or Robot First Doctor.
Yeah. Even though he's there the entire time, it's not really his story. But he still gets his time to shine, and everybody gets their time to really go ahead. Just glow. It's great.
Yeah. So once again, you're doing amazing work on the First Doctor adventures. Keep it up. Don't change anything. Don't deviate. You just need to go higher. Higher. Although you're doing pretty well from what we're getting. From what we're saying. So
They did
you can go.
They did a slight change for this one, and it was fine.
They did a slight change. Yes, they did a slight change in the format, but they still hearkened to what their format was.
Keep your heart where it belongs. In the 60s.
Yes.
There we go.
Absolutely. So yes, if you haven't listened to Fugitive of the Daleks yet, go listen to it. Absolute recommend from the both of us. Now we have to wait another year, probably.
Yeah, we will.
For the next one. God damn you, Nick Briggs. God damn you.
Give me more.
Jason Hager, Hillary.
Give me more.
We need more.
We'll pay.
A year is too much of a wait to listen to more content by Stephen Noonan and Lauren Cornelius. Okay,
what is the next schedule?
They're fantastic actors. Okay, give us more.
What's the next scheduled release
for the First Doctor Adventures? We don't know. I'm just assuming it's going to be next year.
The world may never know.
My surprise is like, okay, here's one next month.
Go ahead.
That'd be great.
You did it for the 11th Doctor Chronicles. Do it for this.
I don't know if we needed I don't know. Unless it's just like an hour long story of like the First Doctor trying to get to where he is, eventually pretending to be the Supreme Dalek, but I don't know.
Hour-long story where he's just confronted by the Time Lords. So,
I will say I almost forgot to mention. I do feel like Noonan is now very comfortable in the role.
So comfortable.
He's so comfortable in this role. We're getting a bit more of the First Doctor messing up of like what he's trying to say. When he reveals himself as the Supreme Dalek, he does the little giggle like
Gremlin
like, that's the First Doctor. I'm getting images of that very iconic scene of him like getting out of the Dalek, and he's like, I'm in a Dalek.
He has two like major intentional flub ups. The Chesterfield one felt very natural. The one before that stuck out a little bit more, but that just Chesterfield, Chesterton, you know what I meant, girl. It's great. Perfect.
Also, I would say with him also doing the Robot Doctor, he gets to do a bit more of the grumpier to a degree. You know, that era where he's still a bit grumpier, and he's starting to soften up.
Meanwhile, he's just giddy inside of the Supreme Dalek. Oh,
yes,
you're dying, my boy, but give it to me.
Yeah. So I do like essentially with having dual roles, allowing Stephen Noonan to explore essentially two different eras of the First Doctor.
More Noonan, more of the time. Thank you.
More Noonan, more Lauren Cornelius, more First Doctor adventures. Please.
This is our lives. Don't take it away from us.
But that is it for this review and discussion of Fugitive of the Daleks. 2 9 out of 10s from the both of us. Definitely go have a listen. Check it out. Absolute recommend from the both of us. And if you like the video, remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you've listened to Fugitive of the Daleks, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to check out any of our previous videos. Remember to stay tuned and check out our weekly live streams. And we will see you all in the next one. Geronimo.
Alonzi!